For the most part, the Klingon fleet consisted of relatively small starships, which combined firepower and agility to deadly effect. However, during the 2370s, the Klingons began to deploy a much larger class of capital ship, a fearsome command cruiser that would serve as the core of Klingon fleet groups. This was the Negh'Var-class Warship, one of the largest and most powerful Klingon vessels ever built, and in this video, we'll be taking a detailed look at it. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. Before we do warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. We're enjoying making these Star Trek videos on various topics, and we hope you're enjoying watching them. If you would like to support their development, please join our Patreon using the link below. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events, as well as more Galaxy-class rewards. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. Developed during the 2360s, the Negh'Var-class began life as a secret project to create a new flagship for the Klingon Defense Force. It was designed primarily by Kuruk, daughter of Halak, and it was constructed at a Kronos orbital factory base. The ship was a departure from traditional Klingon capital ship designs, lacking in maneuverability but boasting overwhelming firepower. It was classified as a heavy cruiser, according to the Deep Space Nine technical manual, and it most prominently served as a command ship. The first ship of its class, the IKS Negh'Var, was launched in 2372. It served as a personal command ship of Chancellor Gowron and a flagship of the entire Klingon Defense Force. Other Negh'Var-class warships were deployed in the following years, and they saw extensive use in the Dominion War. Like the original IKS Negh'Var, the other ships of the class served as command ships for Klingon fleet groups, and they quickly proved to be the Klingon Empire's most formidable warships. At 682.32 meters in length, 470.09 meters in width, and 136.65 meters in height, the Negh'Var-class was only slightly smaller than the Federation Sovereign-class starship. It had a mass of 4,310,000 metric tons, and was based on the design of a Vor'cha-class attack cruiser, although it was obviously much larger. Like the Vor'cha and the Klingon bird of prey, the Negh'Var had a bird-like silhouette. It had a rectangular main aft section, topped with a blocky, arrowhead-shaped tower, and featuring a prominent spur to the aft and a pair of underslung weapon pods extending from the underside on struts. A thin neck extended towards the main section, featuring a fan-shaped command module at the front end, while forward-swept wings tipped with needle-like warp nacelles extended from either side. Each wing featured a blocky lateral spine along its dorsal side, which contained crew decks. While the Negh'Var's placing was painted with a traditional Klingon green, the warship's wings also boasted prominent red and yellow markings that evoked feathers. The Negh'Var was powered by two internal matter-antimatter power plants, and it featured 4 Buzzard collectors and 4 hydrogen ram intakes. The ram intakes were slit-like and located along the front of the wings, while the Buzzard collectors were located on the wingtips, one above and one below each wing, and fed deuterium directly into the ship's warp coils. The Negh'Var was propelled by 2 warp systems and 4 impulse engines. The impulse engines were located at the bases of the wings, and uniquely, 2 of them were actually retrograde engines, designed to slow or stop the ship by firing forwards. The 2 forward impulse engines were located at the back of the wings, while the 2 retrograde impulse engines were located at the front. The Negh'Var's main impulse engines could propel the Negh'Var through space at a respectable speed, although the warship was still slower and less maneuverable than most Klingon vessels. The Negh'Var's powerful wingtip warp nacelles were of a unique design. The main section of the nacelle was needle-shaped and mounted on top of the cruiser's wings, with a small Buzzard collector at the front. There was also a smaller module on the underside of the Negh'Var's wingtips, which connected to the larger module at the aft end of each wing. This secondary module featured a much larger Buzzard collector. These warp systems were quite powerful, able to propel the Negh'Var at a maximum speed of warp 9.6. The Negh'Var was much tougher than many smaller Klingon vessels, boasting thick armor and powerful shields. Like all Klingon capital ships of its time, the Negh'Var was also equipped with a cloaking device, which rendered the ship invisible to the naked eye. As previously mentioned, the Negh'Var was classified as a heavy carrier, and correspondingly, it had a fairly large hangar module. This was a blocky tower atop the aft section of the ship, which featured a large interior hangar deck and hangar doors at the aft end. This hangar carried and deployed Klingon shuttlecraft, presumably amongst other craft. The interior of the Negh'Var was divided into at least 24 decks. Very little is known about its interior layout, but it presumably had similar crew accommodations to the smaller Vor'cha-class attack cruiser, and its fan-shaped forward section contained the ship's command areas. At the top of the command section was the Negh'Var's main bridge, which appeared fairly similar to other Klingon bridge designs. The Negh'Var was staffed by a crew of 2,500, and it also had berths for flight crew and embarked troops. The Negh'Var was also one of the most heavily armed starship classes in known space, boasting a total of 20 disruptor cannons, 1 powerful forward disruptor and 4 torpedo launchers. The forward disruptor was the ship's main weapon, located in a central trench at the front of the command section. Other ship-mounted disruptors were located across the ship, but they were especially concentrated on the wingtips, the aft weapons platform, which extended aft of the hangar module, and the underslung weapons pod, which also contained the ship's torpedo launchers. All told, the Negh'Var had substantial firepower, far eclipsing most starships of the time. The IKS Negh'Var and its sister ships were designed to be the centerpieces of Klingon fleets, powerful dreadnoughts that lesser Klingon vessels could rally around. It filled its role quite well, and it was also a highly effective attack ship in its own right. While it wasn't speedy enough to execute traditional Klingon fast attack tactics, it was more than capable of sustaining brute force attacks, thanks to its overwhelming firepower and durability to shrug off numerous hits from the enemy. The original IKS Negh'Var launched in 2372, served as Chancellor Gowron's flagship, and was commanded by General Martok, or rather, it was commanded by a changeling infiltrator impersonating Martok. See Deep Space Nine for that. That same year, it led a fleet of hundreds of Klingon warships in invading the Cardassian Union, and it later fought on the First Battle of Deep Space Nine, laying siege to the space station before ultimately withdrawing. The Negh'Var led Klingon forces into Cardassian space until 2373, when it was forced to withdraw after the Cardassians joined the Dominion. Other Negh'Var-class warships were seen in service by 2375, during the height of the Dominion War. Like the original Negh'Var, these served as flagships of the Klingon fleet, leading Klingon forces into battle against the Jem'Hadar and their masters. Alternate timelines suggest that the Negh'Var-class remained in service for decades afterwards, although there is no further record of their service in the main Star Trek timeline. The Negh'Var began life as an alternate timeline future version of a Vor'cha-class attack cruiser, which was to be seen in Star Trek The Next Generation's final All Good Things. It was designed by the show's senior illustrator, Rick Sternbach, who had also designed the original Vor'cha. Sternbach started by taking the Vor'cha and adding new modules to it, but production responded by asking for a ship that looked a little more different. The final product retained the original neck and main body of the Vor'cha, but changed enough that it could now be seen to be a different ship. The wings were flipped around, and the nacelles were altered and integrated into the wing tips. The head was replaced with a new forward module designed to look like a Cobra's head, with a long main cannon, and other small modifications which were made all over the ship, resulting in a sufficiently unique but still distinctly Klingon vessel. The design was built into a practical model by Greg Jean, who reused some of the old Vor'cha-class molds for it. The ship was intended to be a one-off design for All Good Things, and since the timeline it appeared in never came to pass, it was expected that the design wouldn't be used again. But during the production of Deep Space Nine's 4th season, when the show needed a new Klingon ship design to represent the powerful new flagship, Negh'Var, the producers decided to reuse the alternate timeline cruiser to save money. However, when the model was being shipped back to the studio from an expedition tour, it was partially destroyed by customs officials. Thanks guys. Forcing Gary Hutzel's VFX team to rebuild it. In the process, they tweaked the ship's design, resulting in the Negh'Var-class as we know it. The Negh'Var made its first true appearance in Deep Space Nine's Season 4 premiere, Way of the Warrior, and it later appeared in an alternate configuration in some of Deep Space Nine's Mirror Universe episodes. It fell out of use before Deep Space Nine switched over to using CGI for visual effects, and as a result, it was Star Trek's last Next Generation era studio model to be rebuilt as a CGI model. This was done for Endgame, the final of Star Trek Voyager, in which the class yet again appeared in an alternate timeline, with a few tweaks to the design. The CGI Negh'Var was built by Trevor Pierce of Foundation Imaging, and it incorporated elements of all three of the different on-screen variants of the starship. So that's a look at the Klingon Negh'Var-class, one of the largest and coolest Klingon starship classes. As mentioned, you can support the development of Trek Central's videos. Please join our Patreon via the link below. You'll get exclusive access to videos and events, as well as more Galaxy-class rewards. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.